Welcome to another episode of Eve Beginnings. My name is Caleb, and today we have an exciting episode for your Eve character. We're going to give it massive amounts of skills, making your character someone to be reckoned with. Then we're going to take a look at the ships we've been rewarded as we did our tutorials. I'm going to go over the Galente ships. However, whichever faction you've chosen to start with, the ships will be very similar and you can most definitely follow along. Then I'm going to set you into the sunset with an epic arc series. And now this epic arc series mission is going to give you a sizable amount of ISK to start your journey finally to the world of Eve. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to help you guys spend your ISK in the most efficient way possible. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to walk through. Alt X brings up your training queue, Alt R brings up your market, and we're going to go figure out what we're missing in terms of skills. Remember, I told you that we want everything at level 2 and then everything at level 3, and then we cherry pick which ones to go to level 4 and 5. But there's no reason why you shouldn't have all the skills. One more time for clarity. And the reason for this is you see a lot of things give you 5% reduction in repair systems duration, or gives you, here, mechanics gives you 5% more structural hit points. Basically weapon upgrades gives you 5% reduction of the CPU needs. So a lot of these give you a lot of benefits for having levels in them. And since level 1 and level 2 take about, I don't know, 40 minutes in total usually to finish, and level 3 takes about 3 hours or so. So each skill gives you about maybe 4 hours of training altogether, but you get all the benefits of it. So you want to have as many skills as you can, at level 3 in order to just give you a good base to start with. So for example, drone gives you 1 extra drone per level. So right now I could only operate 1 drone, but for 38 more minutes of training I can operate 2 drones, and for another 3 hours of training I can operate 4 drones. So as you can see, it's actually very useful to just have these at level 3. Very easy to do, almost no time at all. So we're going to go and browse through all the skills, and I'm going to go through what skills are useful and what skills really you don't really need for our purposes. So all you have to do is bring up the market, which is Alt R, or this symbol right here for the market, or this symbol right here for the market. And then I would go do the solar system. I would actually do station, actually, because make sure you're in your original starting point, naval academy or a school of some sort. And then you're going to just go to the browse section, and down at skills you'll see all the skills. Now I only have 4.6 mil, and this is what I made from just doing the quest. So now I'm going to spend it all on skill books, and this is how I'm going to do it. Armor layering, wow, that is expensive. So no, actually no, that's but I'm not sure if I really want to spend a quarter of my wealth on this, and I don't even have the requirements. So the easiest way to actually do this, forgot to show you guys, is actually to go to this. So instead of doing details for each of these, go to the groups, and then you'll see what you can use and what you can't use. So I'm going to extend this a little bit more. So as you see, these red ones, I can't use these anyway, so there's no point buying them. The check marks are the ones that I already have, so I'm just going to go down. Look, I can't use any of these, so we're just going to go on to the next one. The corporation management is for like guild corp building. There's no reason to use that. Do drones for now. Drones looks to be all red as well. Oh no, mining. I don't really want mining drone. Scout drone is nice, so I'll buy one of those. And for 40,000 ISK is pretty fair price to have it at the station. Remember, if you buy things that are not at the station, it might be cheaper, but you have to actually go get it. All right, now go down to electric system, electronic warfare. Let's go get some of that. 120,000, very reasonable. Go down to sensor linking. Just buy everything. Buy everything that is that is green, as long as it doesn't cost you 100 mil or like 2 mil or whatnot. As long as you can afford it. So these are all 90,000. These are really good skills to just have. So each of these skills really unlocks a new module. So the thing that I hated the most when I was starting Eve was actually playing the game and then realizing I wanted to put this on my ship, and then having to find out that sorry, you can't, because because you don't have the skill installed. And so that's why I've been doing this with all my new characters. This is the best way just to have everything that you need. I skipped over capacity emissions because as a newbie you won't be needing this skill specifically. And I encourage you guys to actually read up what these skills do, so kind of get you guys excited about the stat upgrades that they're going to give you. Some of them are a lot more exciting than others. for example, making more levels in electronic upgrades, for example, it gives you a 5% reduction of CPU needs. It's not as sexy as having, for example, energy pulse weapons, which will allow you to use some smart bombs. So some are more excited than others. I'm going to skip over to smart bomb. Once again, not really useful for newbies. All right, moving on. That was all of that. And don't just do this once in a while. Do this a lot. So what you want to do is you want to because right now these are red. When I have earned enough levels in the rest of them, these will unlock itself. So you want to do this fairly frequently, especially in the beginning, as you get more and more high level. Obviously, there's a lot of red here for me, so I could get a small energy turret right now. So I could use energy turrets, small projectile turrets, and these are dirt cheap at 20,000. So by the way, these are basically what all the other factions weapon skills that I believe we started with hybrid turret, so we have small hybrid turret, but we don't have energy or projectile. It really depends. So we're just gonna keep going. Leadership is really unnecessary right now. That's for when you are leading your own fleets. Missiles are nice. So missile launcher operations is the most basic one, and then everything is going to be basically, it's gunnery. So everything's going to be red until we actually get that into our skill training. Navigation, evasive maneuvering, that's nice. So I'm only doing this now because I realized that the tutorials aren't going to give these to me for free. Now we might get a few for free in the future quests that we'll be doing, or future missions, but I don't really want to depend on that because we could basically take advantage of it now. So neuro enhancement, so I'm torn here. I don't really think this is useful, but it does allow you to use basically implants, cybernetics, for example, which allow you to learn a little bit faster. So it's really up to you. I'll read it, but I'm going to skip over this part. Planning management, I'm going to skip over. It's more industry. Production is very industry. Resource processing is also industry. Rigging is a fun one. So let's see. I can't do any of them right now because I need mechanics 3 probably. Yep. Okay, so I'm just going to put mechanics 3. Rigging is pretty important for PvP. But I guess these skills I have are more important as well, so we'll just wait for that. The scanning portion, if we wanted to do more exploration, which we do, I will take you guys around exploring. So I'm just gonna, wow, that was $500,000. Okay, that was quite expensive actually. So try not to do stuff like that. Science is laboratory research stuff, more production, so we're not going to skip that. Shields is nice to have. So what do we have here? Shielded missions, heal other people's shields or repair other people's shields. That's nice. Let's do that. Then we're going to go with shield operation. So if you started with a shield ship, you'll probably get all of these for free. I did not, so I didn't get any of these. And just like you won't get the armor ones for free, whereas I did. So definitely go out and buy them. They're worth it. Armor and the shields, that is. Social, really unnecessary. Spaceship command, this one's fun. So this one basically is what ships we could pilot. So I want to be able to pilot Mar frigates. I want to be able to pilot Caldari frigates. Right now I have Galente. Alright. Caldari. Oh my god, it's taking a long time to just scroll down. Galante Industrial. You know what? I'll get that so we can move our stuff around. Really not that necessary, but just for the sake of showing you guys. And again, it's only gonna take me away for a few minutes of my training. So really, don't be afraid to have everything to level 1 or 2. This is really easy. It's when you need to have things to level 5 that it takes so long that it's not really worth it. That you really have to give some thought. I mean. Okay, or industrials, what is that used for? So if any time you want to know what the skill is used for, they've implemented a really cool thing. This is required for. So obviously I need or industrial if I want to pilot a Noctis, or if I want to have industrial command ships. I don't want to have either, so I'm just going to skip this skill as well. Is this the last one? Nope. Their subsystems is really for a really high level play. We're going to skip that. Targeting is very useful. We want long range targeting, so I can increase my targeting range. We're gonna take signature analysis that basically makes it how fast you can target somebody. like whether it takes 10 seconds or 5 seconds. Target management allows me to do more than 2. Right now, I think for default you only have 2. For trade, it's a good way to make money actually. It's one of the main ways that I make money in my main alts. I don't think I'm going to recommend this for new players at the moment, but I might come back around later and do something with this. So as you can see, how much money did I spend? I had 4.5 mil, let's just say. I spent 2.5 mil. So for 2.5 mil, I was able to get a bunch of skills. And I'm just going to show you how scattershot I'm going to just train them. So once again, my objective here isn't so much to worry about what I'm training. I just really want to have all the skills I bought trained up to level 1, so I can at least take advantage of the low level, you know, whatever, whether it's 5% more to shields or 5% more to armor. I'd like to take advantage of that, you know, right now and not later. And then if I like it, I can always go up higher. So for example, capacitor management gives us more capacitor, which is really the mana for this game. So by just having a level 1, I increase 5% capacitor for all of my ships, not just the one that I'm using right now, or not just a specific one, all of them. So as you can see, my list is getting longer and longer because each of these are taking 15 minutes, 16 minutes, 25 minutes. So that's why you could basically stack all of these. So this is the exact reason why we want to do this right now, because it really costs us nothing in terms of time to really learn all these skills, but we get to take advantage of it right now. I believe this is not yet ready. Here we go. I'm just packing it in. Alright. Amar frigate. Tactical shield upgrades. Long range signature analysis. So as you can see, it really is adding up there. I'm almost done. And I mean, that's really all you do. You know, since I have trade, I might as well put that in anyway. They gave it to you for free, I believe. So that's it, I believe. And I'm just gonna go and hit the apply button. So as you can see, I'm gonna get all these new skills. And if I actually just remove the big ones, the long ones, if I just, let's see, remove this one, remove all the level 3s, you will see that it's taken no time at all. So I just learned literally a gajillion skills. And let's remove this too. A gajillion skills in under 8 hours, basically. That's basically what this means. So all these skills will be at level 1 in 8 hours. And of course, I'll put them in for level 2. So for the next few days, just concentrate on filling all these to level 2. And once you're done with that, go back to the market and see if there's any new skills that got unlocked for you. Some of them need level 3 for certain things, so if you want something specific, go chase after it, you know. In the meantime, this is the best way to kind of make sure you have a really roundabout character that is capable of doing a little bit of everything. There's no point to specialize right now. Alright then, let's move on to the next portion. Oh, I forgot to add one more thing. You always leave it to be 24 hours or more. Right now it says 8 hours, so I'm just going to add gunnery in there because I know that's something that I definitely want to go to level 4 first. And then next episode or the episode after that, I'm going to explain to you why I want certain things and why I'm willing to wait on other things, just to help you guys with your training queue as well. So I'm going to put level 2, which brings up to still 8 hours, and level 3 is really going to be the one that's going to... okay. Obviously I can't. Let's do it this way. Alright, and then where's my rapid fire? Put that back up. Also at this point, you probably have a good amount of ships now. So the real question is, why do you use one ship over the next? It might be a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. So most of the factions have a few different types of frigates. In this case, we can see all the frigates by bringing up the market. Once again, go into browse, go down to ships. And then you can, of course, pick frigates only, since we're going to focus on that. Standard frigates, and then let's go Galante. So I own an Atron, right? So I own an Atron right here. I own an Imicus right here. I own a Incursus right here. I own a Navitas right there. And lastly, the Tristan. So I have all of them. So the real reason is, like, why do you pick one or the other? How do you know which one to take out depending on what you're doing? Well, you can actually, if you bring up the market, it actually tells you why you would do some of these things. So for example, the Atron has a 10% bonus to small hybrid fall off. So it has a longer range for every level of Galente frigate. Now this is exactly what I mean, that you want to get those levels up, you want to cherry pick. So right now, I believe for Galente frigate, I have level 2. So let's go all the way down. It's under Spaceship Command, Galente frigate level 2. So that means I get a 20% bonus to my small hybrid turret fall off. I also get a 10% bonus to the damage. And then the roll bonus is that I have 80% reduction in propulsion jamming systems activation costs. So things such as webifiers or warp scramblers or warp disruptors, it costs less to activate them. So obviously this, you can tell that the game makers are trying to make this into a tackler ship, which I'll explain to you what that is in other videos. But basically just was to chase after enemies and tackle them. Basically put a point or put a scram on them. So the next ship is an Imicus, and it gets a bonus to the combat scanner probe and a regular scanner probes, and also salvagers. So this is obviously a support ship, not really meant to be for battling, because this one gets bonuses to weapons, while this one gets bonuses to combat scanner probe strength. You know, the Incursus gets bonus to repairing. So now you have a brawler basically that gets a little bit of bonus to how much that armor repair will do, as well as how much damage. So increased damage, increased repair. So this is more for skirmishing. You get the Navitas, which is more of a remote armor repairer. So you get 10% bonus per level for how much you repair your friends for, and 10% reduction of how much it costs for you to activate your module. And then you get a 500% bonus to the range. So before, if you remember the tutorial, it was only 4,000, kilometers, which 4 kilometers, which is not a lot. So with a 500 bonus, now you can get up to 20, which is pretty impressive in a frigate fight. And lastly, you have the Tristan, which you can see is a drone boat. It gets bonus to the hybrid turret tracking speed, so no extra damage, no extra range, but it gets extra hit points and tracking speed for the drones that it may carry. So none of the other ones really have bonuses to that. So basically, each ship has its own unique uses, and it's really up to you to pick the right tool for the job. So if you want to be a space priest, you obviously want the Navitas to have the remote armor repairers, than the Incursius to have it. And if you really want to brawl, you are much better off going with the Incursius with the benefits that it gets than just putting the same fit on a Navitas. Okay, alright, perfect. Okay guys, now I'm going to introduce you to what is arguably the best value for your time for a beginner to do a complex set of missions called a epic art, brought to you by the Sisters of Eve, a faction within the game. So not to really take things out of proportion in terms of not telling you where to get information from, it's just really common knowledge where it is. So I'm just going to tell you it's in a, so first we're going to go to star map. It's in a system called Arnon, so we're going to look that up. So right here there's a search. If you click that, you type in Arnon, then you kind of get where it is. You can right click and set destination. Alternatively, you can just type it in if you know what it is. So for example, chat right here, Arnon, and then you can right click that, go to auto link, go to solar system, because that's what you're typing out, and you get that. And then you can right click that and set destination. So it's 7 jumps away. So I would make the 7 jumps, and look, one of my newbie friends is bored of mining. Well, that's because mining is a bit boring. You shoot at rocks and haul the rocks back to station, which is basically why I did not suggest you guys to do mining, because there's not really much gameplay in it. I mean, it's actually very needed in the game of Eve. Somebody has to mine, because all these ships, besides the one that the NPCs give you, you have to buy them. And when you buy them, they're pretty much all made, how do I say, they're pretty much all made by human players. So that's why somebody needs to do the mining. But if you could help it, I would rather that not be us. And especially since the people who are really good at mining, they have like 20 accounts mining. It's not just one little account, you know, the little miner that could type. So alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually prepare to go to battle. So obviously I left with a really crappy fit, exploration fit, which is not what we're doing right now. So before I make the 7 jumps, what I'm going to do is I am going to refit my ship. So what we're really looking for right now is, obviously I'm not going to worry about a PvP fit, I'm only going to worry about PvE. And the really big difference is that PvE, you want to sustain yourself, you want to be able to tank. So the combination I have right now with the damage control and an extra armor tank and a tank repairer should more than suffice. So the real question is, like, what do I put here? Well, there's not really much I can put here actually. I might want to put a salvager on, but that's a civilian one, it's not really as useful. So you know what? I think I came back in here for no reason, because there's not anything I can really take with me. So I think that this is my best ship right now, so I'm just gonna go run with it. Alright, here we are. We finally made it to the system of Arnon, 7 jumps away. And we're gonna go dock up in the Sisters of Eve station. Obviously, since we're gonna do the Sisters of Eve epic arc. So a lot of these missions are going to be go here, do this, you know, go over there, kill that, bring this back here. So I'm not going to really film all of it, just maybe the ones that might be a little bit harder. So go ahead and double click on this Sister Alitura agent and accept the quest. And of course you can read what the quest is about, and they encourage you to do that. Alright, and once again, I'm just going to skip over to finishing it. I think it's going to take me about 1 to 2 days to finish. Looks like we're finally done with all the missions and all of the tutorials. So what's going up next is going to be us actually finding some real action. So at this point, after you're done with the Sisters of Eve epic quest, we're going to get a bunch of cash, which we're going to buy ships with. I'm going to teach you how to do that and where to go next. As always, if you like what you see, please subscribe and leave a comment and a thumbs up if you can. This is Caleb signing.